The breathless reporting over Jimmy Kimmel's no doubt soon-to-be official termination is a big story over there at CNN. It's always interesting, too, how they frame the story, because they're basically talking about how this was Donald Trump's FCC that ordered the firing of Jimmy Kimmel, which is nowhere near the truth. 2805 says this on the super text line. Hey, listener, out of Georgia, but I appreciate his listening. When people can be fired for what they think and say, that is blanking ridiculous, especially when the president lies daily and he can personally sue you. So I'm not sure. Hey, 2805, can you tell me, please, what lie did Donald Trump tell yesterday? Let's just start. You said, 2805, you said that Donald Trump lies daily. So I would like to know what specific lie the president told yesterday. And then can you tell me what lie he told the day before? I mean, I can play the game if you would like. Just, I know you're listening because you're a hate listener and you listen to every word. Because that's what hate listeners do, Joan, is they listen to every single word and they just yell at their car radio, which is fine. But Jimmy Kimmel was not fired because of an opinion. He was fired because the affiliates of his television show pulled his broadcast.
Right.
And because of that, the network had to fire him. Now, for folks that are just joining us, and I'm sorry, people, I know that some of you have heard this a number of different times since, I got on the air on this morning at 5 a.m., and you heard it yesterday as well. But for people that have not heard it yet, this was the offending comment that Jimmy Kimmel said that got him fired.
He had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
So that is Jimmy Kimmel. And again, that was a lie. That was not an opinion. That was not a hot take. When that was recorded, that was for his Monday show. That was for Jimmy Kimmel's Monday show. And the problem that he faces is that by that time, we knew that this guy was not MAGA. Now, you got a lot of people out there that are trying to go after the FCC because the FCC and the chairman is a guy named Brendan Carr, and he was on with Benny Johnson. And this is why they're saying that the FCC in this interview basically ordered a hit on Jimmy Kimmel's career. I'm going to play this for you. And by the way, we've got video for every single piece of audio that I'm playing for you this morning. And this is Brendan Carr. And they were talking about how, this is not a freedom of speech issue. Listen to what he said.
When you look at the conduct that has taken place by Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible, but I don't think this is an isolated incident. I mean, you go back to Representative Swalwell, and he had a tweet out last week where he was saying that, emphasizing that Charlie Kirk's killer was a straight white male from a Republican family that voted for Donald Trump. In some quarters, there's a very concerted effort to try to lie to the American people about the nature, as you indicate, of one of the most significant, newsworthy public interest acts that we've seen in a long time. And what appears to be an action by Jimmy Kimmel to play into that narrative that this was somehow a MAGA or Republican motivated person. If that's what happened here with his conduct, that is really, really sick.
So that's Brendan Carr, and he is the FCC commissioner. But you heard him utilize that term. What does operating in the public interest actually mean? Well, it sounds to me like what Brendan Carr is saying is that if you're lying to the American people about a news story, it's not a hot take. It's not an opinion. He lied about facts, knowingly lied about facts to his audience as some sort of propaganda. That is what Jimmy Kimmel did. That is not in the public interest, which is what Carr is saying. Is it in the public interest to spread lies? That wasn't even misinformation. It was a lie. And the conversation went on. This is the, by the way, the money quote, where Brendan Carr basically says, you know what? We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
And they have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. And we can get into some ways that we've been trying to reinvigorate the public interest and some changes that we've seen. But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
All right, so clearly that was something that he was saying where, and what Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, is really trying to do is they do want to enforce this rule or policy related to the FCC where they talk about the public interest. Free speech is all about public interest, Joan, obviously, but when you lie, he's got the right to lie, but he does not have the right to lie and not expect to be punished for it if his employers decide that he should be punished.
That's right. There's, by the way, one Democrat on the FCC, one Democrat commissioner on the FCC, and she spoke out. Her name is Anna Gomez.
Okay.
And she was speaking out about this after Jimmy Kimmel was fired last night.
We must be careful not to allow the government to punish critics simply because of content.
Is that her take?
All, yeah.
That's her take?
That's her hot take.
Can we fire an FCC commissioner for lying?
Yeah.
Because again, that's what they're saying, that this is a free speech issue when it's not. So you have the FCC commissioner basically telling ABC, look, you have a problem, and if you don't take action, we will. A couple of things going on. I don't believe that they would have fired Jimmy Kimmel if they felt that they could fight this. I think that they knew that the FCC had them dead to rights. That's number one. Number two, this interview was before all of those affiliate stations of Jimmy Kimmel started dropping him. I mean, you had entire groups of radios, of television stations just deciding, okay, network, we are no longer going to take the Jimmy Kimmel show. And so we are preempting him or taking him off the air, whatever they want to say. But we are taking his show off the air as of right now. Entire groups of television stations told that to ABC or Disney, who owns ABC and all that. So basically Jimmy Kimmel's boss, the network. And so very quickly, the network then said to Jimmy Kimmel, you're done. We are going to, take you off the air. And I think that basically what they're trying to do now is they're looking at at his contract and trying to figure out if they can fire him for a cause. The other thing that I would say, and I said this in the 5 o'clock hour too, is that Disney and ABC, they may have been contemplating a move anyway with Jimmy Kimmel, just like they had with Stephen Colbert, with the other networks, with Stephen Colbert. I'm not sure. I know that we spoke earlier about how Jimmy Kimmel's ratings were down. And the whole late night thing, the whole vehicle of late night has been going down. And Jimmy Kimmel, he was, I don't know who was more of a partisan, Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert. But to me, they're both basically the same. And yes, their ratings were down. And so this may have been an opportunity for the network to say, you know what? This is our opportunity. This is our opportunity to just part ways with Jimmy Kimmel because he's not making any money and the ratings are not making us any money. The ratings are down and he is just going to continue to do this. And I guarantee you the affiliate stations were already squawking about Jimmy Kimmel. So this may have just been an opportunity for them to make a change. This was Disney's or ABC's opportunity. I'm not sure what they're going to do if they're going to bring back his show with another host. And have you seen anything about that, Sam or Joan? I have not seen. I know that local stations, because remember, there's the network and then there's the local stations. The local stations, some of them, I guess, were playing reruns of Family Feud.
They were playing Family Feud. That's right. And
others had more news that they piped in. So or they produced at the local level. So that is, part of what they decided to do. I don't know if they've decided to bring in, they're deciding. Do we want to just bag on the whole late night thing and just give that back to the local stations or not have anything of a network presence? And I think that's something that they're all going to have to figure out. I guess the question is, and I've got more from the FCC chairman coming up, but is the problem with these late night shows, is it that they have been so unfunny and partisan? And if they actually get somebody funny and nonpartisan, like a modern day Jay Leno or Johnny Carson, then would people go back and start watching late night TV again? That's the big question. And that's what the people at Disney and ABC are trying to figure out. Because, Stephen Colbert, they're just saying goodbye to the whole late night franchise. So, I mean, you got Nate Bargatze out there, and I think that he would be really good. I don't think he wants it, but he would be really good at doing a late night show like this. And I think that for the American people, I don't know if there still is an audience for this kind of a thing. I can't get through all my audio with the FCC chairman because I'm word vomiting all over the place. And by the way, 2805 is still mad at me for, that's what I want to know, 2805. You said that Donald Trump tells lies daily. So what was yesterday's lie? Because he's in England, right? So what did he say in England that you would consider a lie? And what about the day before? As far as Brendan Carr goes, in this interview with Benny Johnson, they're talking about broadcasting in the public interest. What exactly does that mean?
Public interest means you can't be running a narrow partisan circus and still meeting your public interest obligations. It means you can't be engaging in a pattern of news distortion. We have a rule on the book that interprets a public interest standard that says news distortion is something that is prohibited. Likewise, we have a rule that addresses broadcast hoaxes. And so
news distortion and broadcast hoaxes. Now, do you think, Sam, I'll go to you, and I don't know if Joan's back there.
I am.
But news distortion. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you just heard the FCC commissioner say that news distortion is prohibited. So when Kimmel said that this shooter, the killer of Charlie Kirk, was a MAGA-influenced kind of a guy, I would say that is news distortion. That is an actual lie, and he knew it. Also, hoaxes are prohibited. So, I mean, they've got him on both of those.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't – people coming out of the woodwork trying to support it aren't helping it either. Gavin Newsom tweeted out, which 2805, if you're listening, these are some lies. Buying and controlling media platforms, firing commentators, canceling shows. These aren't coincidences. It's coordinated, and it's dangerous. The GOP does not believe in free speech. They are censoring you in real time. Gavin Newsom, spare me your selective outrage and tell me what you did during COVID.
There you go. All of them. All of these Democrats during COVID. So, yeah, you're right. Selective outrage there. Here's more from the FCC commissioner.
Again, over the years, the FCC has stepped back from enforcing it, and I don't think it's been to the benefit of anybody. Just look at the credibility of these legacy media. It's absolutely through the floor. They used to be able to say at least they were more trustworthy than Congress, but now they're even less trustworthy than Congress. And so I think as a business matter for them, something has to change. And at the FCC, we need to reinvigorate this.
So there you go. Now, here's my worry about this is there anybody worried that this could get actually out of control, where I do believe that Kimmel deserved to be fired because I think that he lied. We could call it a news hoax, whatever you want to call it. News distortion is another one. But who is going to define the bar that we need to hit? Because once you get a Democrat president in there and they put in a Democrat-run FCC, they're going to go after conservatives. And they're going to take what we say, whether it's, talk show hosts in Nashville, Tennessee, or at the national level, where they could take something that we say and they could say that it is news distortion when it's actually not, because they get to define the terms. And so that is my worry, is that it's going to be open season on conservatives on broadcast television and radio if, Lord help us, a Democrat gets in there and starts, and a Democrat Senate, and they start just putting in all of these Democrats on the FCC. So that is my worry. I'm just going to tell you.
News distortion for years and years and years.
And you know what he said, Joan? I don't know if I had it in my audio because it was like an 8-minute interview. Mm-hmm. But what he said was, and that's a great point, the FCC has gotten away from enforcing the in the public interest or the bans or the prohibitions on news distortion or the other one, or news hoaxes. So they haven't been enforcing those. Well, now it looks like with Brendan Carr as the commissioner or as the chairman, he is going to start enforcing those. That is what he said. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
I think all of us would call the whitewashing of Joe Biden's mind a hoax. It was a long-running hoax. And every time somebody said, he ran circles around me every day.
News hoax, news distortion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look.
Yeah.
Our eyes are all open now.
Well, and we could talk about the border is secure. I mean, we could talk about all of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, Joan, there's so many.
We need to sign a bill to make sure we can close the border.
Yeah.
And fund billions of dollars to Ukraine.
So for me, I mean, I think this is what happens when you lie. And I think that and part of the news cycle this morning is Jimmy Kimmel is really angry, really mad because he got pulled off the air. Well, too bad, so sad. And by the way, he didn't seem to understand when Stephen Colbert got crap canned. He didn't seem to understand that, you know what, this kind of behavior is not going to be tolerated, and clearly it wasn't. 2805 on the super text line. I'm paying way too much attention to you. Could you pull up, Sam, Brian Kilmeade? Did you hear what Brian Kilmeade did the other day, Joan? Over there on Fox
that he
News.
had to apologize for?
He had to apologize for talking about, basically what he said was, they're talking about, I guess, homeless people, drug-addled homeless people.
Yeah.
And he said something about voluntarily euthanizing them. We're going to pull the audio. But basically, 2805 said that Donald Trump lies daily. And again, talking about the whole free speech thing and Jimmy Kimmel and what he did. So I told 2805, give me something that Donald Trump lied about yesterday. It's very simple. And he's got nothing. And so now I'm stupidly going back and forth with him like an idiot because I don't have enough stuff to do in the show. But he did bring up the Brian Kilmeade gaffe, because that's what it was. It was a gaffe. But I'm going to explain, and I'm going to speak really slowly for you, 2805, just so you can maybe possibly understand this. By the way, you know what I've noticed? Since this whole thing happened with Charlie Kirk, getting a lot more people engaged on the super text line. A lot more haters have come in, actually, which is fine. I mean, it's all good. A lot more people watching on YouTube as well. Thank you very much. But did you find it, Sam? The Brian Kilmeade goof?
I have the full quote and text. I'm trying to find the video. But yeah, the full quote and text was made in September of this year, obviously, on an episode of Fox and Friends. The comment came during a discussion about Irina Zarutska, who was murdered in Charlotte, North Carolina, by a mentally ill homeless man. And the co-host Lawrence Jones suggested mentally ill homeless people who refuse treatment should be jailed. Brian Kilmeade then went on to say, or involuntary lethal injection or something, just kill him.
Yeah.
That's his opinion, and it's a terrible one.
Yes. That's right. That's the difference. That was, and he apologized. I think that he just, I don't know. We all have brain farts. You know what the thing is? When you speak on television or the radio for a living, sometimes stuff comes out. But the difference between what Brian Kilmeade said, and if you could try to find that quote, the difference between what Brian Kilmeade said, that was an opinion. Some might even call it a hot take. I call it just dumb. And he realized that he said something wrong, and then he apologized for it. There is a difference between that and knowingly lying to the American people, which is what Jimmy Kimmel did. Right, Joan? I mean, you get this. There's a difference between the two.
Absolutely.
Also, people are yelling at me because, you carry ABC News. They lie all the time, and you never call them out.
Oh, yes.
Are you kidding me?
Do. Oh, my
Do
goodness.
you listen? I mean, it's almost a daily basis. We talk. I remember Phil Valentine, the great Phil Valentine, once put ABC News on timeout because of the lies that were being reported.
I've explained to people on the Super Text line, and maybe not enough like saying it here, but oftentimes, most every day, actually, for me anyway, and I can't speak for Ken, but we'll take what ABC has sent us. Then you have to chop off the things that they say that are clearly opinion journalism, if you want to call it that, or are outright wrong,
right?
Or just based in ridiculousness. Mm-hmm. And we will try to use what they give us, but for the most part, we have to cut stuff out.
Right.
Because it's all fake.
Well,
but we do that.
You got to rewrite it. We call that in the business. We call that rewriting and so forth.
It's the audio that they send. So we have to edit that audio down to what we can use and feel comfortable, and we have to feel like we're telling the truth.
Right.
So we do that with ABC by just tearing apart their work. We have to.
Right. But we've all, I don't know about everybody, I can speak for myself. I mean, I've spoken about ABC News for years, as a matter of fact. So, we do, and it's fine, whatever. By the way, the CNN exclusive bipartisan effort to tone down the rhetoric in the era of political violence. So you've got Lindsey Graham in the middle, you've got Amy Klobuchar on the left, and you've got, who is that guy from Connecticut? Blumenthal, Richard Blumenthal.
Yes.
On the right. So I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I've got the full context of the Kilmeade gaffe if you want it.
So, all right, let's take the traffic, and then we'll play the Kilmeade audio, and we'll talk about it, because it was a bad take. I mean, it was a terrible take. By the way, one of my other favorite text messages this morning. By the way, Dan, I like all the other shows more than yours. So my response was, I like all the other listeners better than you. So there.
Why doesn't he go listen to them?
Well, he probably does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I don't care if you love me. I don't care if you hate me. Just listen. That's all I care about. All right. So go ahead. Let's play the Brian Kilmeade audio. You got this, Sam?
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right. I would say this. We're not voting for the right people. In North Carolina, wake up.
So that's a bad take.
That's a bad take.
That's a bad take, man. I don't know what else to say.
Didn't sleep before you went on air, didn't have your coffee or something. But that's, again, the difference being that's his opinion.
That is his opinion versus a bald-faced lie, which is what Jimmy Kimmel said.
Exactly.
So,
and people that if you don't understand the difference between the two, the FCC's website is publicly accessible, where all of the rules and regulations are there for you to read. If you can't comprehend that, call your English teacher and complain to her.
All right, now here's the question, though. Should Brian Kilmeade have been fired for that?
I think he should have been suspended.
Do you?
I think it's suspension worthy to say something like that on the air.
Absolutely. That was pretty offbeat.
Because this is holding each other accountable in this circle on this side of the aisle.
Exactly. And I think that for many years he has been, I'm assuming, a model employee for Fox News. Otherwise, he still wouldn't be there. But yeah, I think that is definitely. Can you find the apology, Sam? Because he did. He had to come back and apologize. I don't think that is termination worthy, because I think that he just, I don't know. We're all going to have bad takes from time to time. It is just going to happen. And so for Kilmeade, he realized that he made a mistake. And I guarantee you, you guys know how I like shame spiral if I shank something. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, Kilmeade got off the air and he was like, I said what?
Yeah.
Like he knew.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, he knew the second he got off the air. But also remember this, and I'm not excusing what he said, but it's in the context of that horrible murder that happened on the train in Charlotte. So that, again, no excuse, but that's what they were talking about. So emotions are running high. And he did. He came out. He apologized. My bad. And for Kilmeade, no one feels worse than him. Nobody feels worse than him. Did you find the...
Yes.
This is the apology, Brian Kilmeade.
In the morning, we were discussing the murder of Irina Zaruska in Charlotte, North Carolina, and how to stop these kinds of attacks by homeless, mentally ill assailants, including institutionalizing or jailing such people so they cannot attack again. Now, during that discussion, I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion. In the morning, we were discussing the murder of Irina.
Yeah, that's, you could say it's bland. You could say it's shortened to the point on the apology, but he tried to address it as quickly as possible, whereas it's been how long? And Kimmel had since Monday to start working on something?
Also, what he didn't say was, I apologize to anyone I've offended. It wasn't one of those stupid apologies.
No, one of those non-apology apologies.
It was an apology.
We know why that is. Because on our side of the aisle, we are all about accountability.
Which to say that, someone's, I guess, claiming a threat in the YouTube chat over this because people in the YouTube chat are trying to explain to this individual the difference between an opinion and openly lying on the airwaves. Shout out to the majority of the YouTube chat that's got their heads on straight this morning, trying to set this person straight. But if I ever see WTN on my feed again, I'll consider it a threat.
Well,
this
dude,
is
go
where
wrap yourself up in bubble wrap and stay offline. Good Lord,
Make sure you put your helmet on before you walk outside today.
Do you know what's funny? I don't know if I don't think I've ever had to apologize for anything that I've said.
Oh, really?
40 years I've been in broadcasting. I don't know if I've never had to apologize for anything.
That says a lot. Because people have to apologize all the time.
I think that I have said things that I immediately regretted.
Sure.
I mean, but the company has never come to me and said, I don't know what you were thinking there, but you need to apologize. That's never happened.
Did that go how you thought it was going to go?
Did that go how you thought it would go? No, not once. Joan, you ever have to apologize?
I've been trying to think. I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not yet. If you're coming to me next,
Right.
Not yet.
Well, give it time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, I'm going on 40 years of actually do the math for me. So if I'm 57, I started at 18.
That's 39 years.
39 years. All right. So coming up on 40 years. And clearly I can't do math on the radio.
Remember, it's like you told me to keep things in tens so it's simple.
Carry the one, right, Joan?
1998? No, 19. I'm sorry.
No, 19. I started in 1986, Joan.
No, yeah, for me, I'm thinking.
Oh,
the
you're
same.
trying to think about
1986 also is when I started. Wow, isn't that weird?
That's when my folks got married.
39 years I've been doing this.
There have been times when I've apologized because I thought that I said something that I shouldn't have. And people, every time I apologize, people are like, why are you apologizing?
Because you're overly considerate and you're compassionate,
It wasn't
Dan.
a forced apology is what you're saying.
No, I've never been forced to apologize for anything. And nine times out of 10, I shouldn't be. 10 times out of 10, according to people I love and respect, have told me that I shouldn't have apologized. For the life of me, I'm trying to think of what it was that I had to apologize myself, that I apologized for. And I can't think of what it was. But, part of that is because I don't know. Number one, do you know what I think the best trait of a talk show host is? An attitude of, I don't have to be right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I am perfectly willing, prove me wrong. Come at me, bro. And I'm not beyond influence. Like, if somebody calls up or sends me a note on the super text line and said, what about this? Like the guy with the Brian Kilmeade.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? It's a great point.
It is.
It's a teachable moment. Let's talk about the difference between Brian Kilmeade and his really bad opinion and what Jimmy Kimmel did, which was knowingly lie.
Yeah, and the
There's a huge difference between those two.
And the misconception that free speech protects you all the way into the workplace is one of the biggest fallacies. I think it's a failure of taking civic courses out of high school education. You can stand on any street corner anywhere in this country and say whatever you want.
Yep.
You want to do it with the representation of a company behind you, then they can do whatever they want.
That's exactly right. The misrepresentation, the chilling effect on free speech is clearly just ridiculous. And by the way, all of these, free speech huggers, which I'm a free speech hugger, but I'm calling BS on the hypocrites. Where were they when conservatives were getting fired or shadow banned during COVID?